think you can. He can second the minutes. Good evening. It is now 7 o'clock, and the Town Hall meeting of the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners for September 3rd is now in session. Commissioner Chismar. Present.
Present.
Commissioner Taylor.
Present.
And Commissioner Chance.
Present.
And Commissioner Rutledge will not be with us this evening. He is ill. All right, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion that the minutes from the Board of Commissioners meetings held on August 13th, 2024, and August 19th, 2024 be submitted, including minutes from the following meetings. August 13th, Commissioners' Work Session, open meeting. August 13th, Commissioners' Work Session, closed meeting. And August the 19th, Commissioners' Town Hall meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Any discussion of the agenda? I'm sorry, the minutes. All right.
Okay, this is for the vote on approval of the minutes for the August 13th and August 19th Board of Commissioner meetings. Commissioner Chismar?
I'll abstain. I wasn't at one of those meetings.
Okay, Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Chance?
Aye.
And Chair Edding.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Any discussion of the agenda?
Need a second?
We need a second, yes.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Any discussion of the agenda?
No.
Mr. Krantz?
To approve this evening's agenda, September 13th, 2024, the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners, Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Tonight's agenda is approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. The first thing on our agenda this evening is the presentation, first from the Daughters of the American Revolution on Lafayette's birthday. The Daughters of the American Revolution will be celebrating the birthday of Marquis de Lafayette, born September the 6th, 1757, who fought in the Continental Army with the American colonists against the British in the American Revolution. Ladies, would you like to step forward?
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to meet with you tonight. I hope you enjoy your birthday cake, which you'll have at your end of your meeting. As you may already know, the Marquis has already arrived in America. He arrived on the 16th of August to celebrate the 200th anniversary of his bicentennial tour. My name is Sandy Wallace. I actually am a member of the Governor William Pecca DAR chapter, but I'm also representing the Lafayette Tour Planning Committee, which is a multi-agency planning group that has been meeting for a while to plan events to celebrate the 200th anniversary, of Lafayette's farewell tour. Of course, during the tour, Lafayette will celebrate two birthdays, one on September 6th this week, and another one, the last day that he is here in the United States, will be on September 6th of next year, at which time he will depart for France. Of course, during the American Revolution, he celebrated a number of birthdays in the United States as he was serving in the American Army. We thought that bringing you a piece of birthday cake would be a good way to introduce to you the plans for Lafayette's farewell tour stop, which will happen in Havre de Grace on July 29th, 2025. And I did give you, if you'll look at the little, Lafayette stopped in Havre de Grace, a very spontaneous stop. He came from Lancaster to Port Deposit and was getting on a boat to be transported to Baltimore on July 29th of 1825. But a delegation from Havre de Grace came over and implored that he stop in Havre de Grace. And he did. he spontaneously stopped in Havre de Grace for 3 hours. And so we're going to recreate those 3 hours. We're going to stretch it to 4 because we citizens like to have a ball even after the party's over, you know. So we will be celebrating that in Harmerstown. He will arrive by boat from Port Deposit, be greeted by the citizens of Harford County, and welcomed with festivities and songs and food. So that's going to be a wonderful occasion. But what I've put in your calendar are some build-up events because we want to develop awareness of this wonderful partnership, not just with Lafayette, but with France, that was so important to us in the founding of our country. Right now, if any of you are familiar with Gallery 220 in Havre de Grace, they have a wonderful exhibit going on. It's called American Hero and Revolutionary Man, The Life of the Marquis de Lafayette. And it also has an original art exhibit called Cultural Agitators, because that's what Lafayette was. He was a man who was ahead of his times. And that's a wonderful, wonderful exhibit. I was there for the reception Friday night. It's going to be there until October 13th. So please get down and take a look. I think you'll really be impressed. There's a lot of information about Lafayette and some interesting takes on who are today's or who have been cultural agitators. I want to point out just a couple other things here. We have an evening with Adrienne Lafayette scheduled in March, and my favorite on the program is a concert by David and Ginger Hildebrand on the music of Lafayette and the music of the times. David Hildebrand is a Peabody instructor who is an expert on colonial music, and this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful time to learn about colonial instruments and the music of the period. So please, we are welcoming you with our cake to come and enjoy these events. So Eddie asked me to actually share some information on some other dates. So that's your insert. That was a last-minute addition. Another big celebration in Harford County will happen this coming March, and that's the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Bush Declaration. And I won't go into a dissertation on the Bush Declaration, or you wouldn't get home tonight. But that's going to be in March. And I've just met, we're working through the Historical Society, various other groups, including our DAR chapter, and the county government. And so we've come up with a theme that's going to be called Revolutionary Harford. So please look for that. We're going to be sending a lot of things out on Revolutionary Harford. The signing of the Bush Declaration in March will be the beginning, and then the other bookend will be the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which will happen on July 7th, 2026. So this is going to be a prolonged celebration, about a year and a half, and you'll hear lots and lots of Revolutionary Harford events coming. If you'll invite me back, I'll tell you what they are. But also, I wear many hats. And the other hat I wear is I'm the new chairman of the Hayes House. And so the Hayes House has reopened. We opened as a part of your celebration of your 150th anniversary of incorporation. We were there for 4th of July. It's so great to have the Hayes House back. But on September 8th, which is next Sunday, we're going to do our first Revolutionary Harford program. And we're going to have living history interpreters interpreting what was the buzz in Bel Air in September of 1774. And so we're going to be talking about learning to make our own cloth because we can't import from England anymore, finding substitutes for tea, training the militia will be going on in the yard. So that's going to be a fun day as well. And then I've given you some other future Hayes House programs. The one it's not scheduled yet is what's behind the north wall. You may know that for the last 5 years we've been trying to fix the north wall, which is one of the oldest existent walls, not just in Harford County, but in the whole eastern colonial area. It dates from 1788. We're going to be taking it down. We've hired, he starts this week, we've hired a preservation contractor who's going to be taking the boards down, and he has agreed to do a presentation on what he is discovering behind the wall. So I think that's going to be a fun program too. And we can't schedule that, obviously, until he has something to tell us. Christmas is returning to the Hayes House. We have a garden club that's going to decorate it. We're going to have fresh greens. It's going to be open. I have 2 choral groups already that are going to do some choral Christmasing there. And if any of you participated in Julie Brash's tours of the town last year, we're going to reproduce those again this year, and they will be beginning and ending at the Hayes House, and we'll have some hot cider and cookies or some kind of a little treat there for that. And the final thing, Carol has a handout for you. Some of you may have noticed that there's a new plaque in the, what do you call that courtyard? You have a name for it.
Armory Park.
Armory Park. There's a new plaque in Armory Park dedicated to the Revolutionary War Patriots. And that's going to be dedicated on October 27th. And Carol has a handout for you for that. We hope to see you there. It's going to be a great day, and it's also a great celebration of Revolutionary Hartford. So thank you. I'll be here when you enjoy your cake, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them then. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that presentation. Certainly, Lafayette was a big player in the American Revolution, and then later was a hero in France as well. So he's a freedom fighter for 2 countries. So we're going to have cake? All right. Are we going to have cake? Later? Now?
I didn't know if you wanted to have it while you were on the dais. I asked Sandy to wait till the end, but if you want it now, I'm certainly,
I will,
we'll never turn down
bow,
cake.
bow to the, wait for the end?
Yeah, if that's what
Okay.
they would,
All
that's
right.
what Sandy would let them
All right,
do. Sure.
there you go.
That's okay. To wait till
To the
after our
end?
meeting to do the cake?
Absolutely. All right.
Okay, that way we'll have more time.
All right. Next, we have the Proclamation for Arts Across Hartford, and I'll be making that presentation to Ms. Robertson, who will be joining me. So this week starts September 13th. Will start the Arts Across Hartford. And whereas the town of Bel Air is home to a state-designated arts and entertainment district whose mission is to promote and enhance arts and entertainment offerings and opportunities to create a unique and vibrant community where people and businesses want to live, work, and play. And whereas Arts Across Hartford will promote arts events and show support for local artists and arts organizations. And whereas Arts Across Hartford will provide opportunities for tourism and give our residents occasion to experience a wide range of arts program. And whereas Arts Across Hartford will create an opportunity for advancement of the arts across disciplines and across all geographic areas of Hartford County. Now therefore, the Board of Town Commissioners of Bel Air hereby proclaims September 13th through September 30th as Arts Across Hartford. And I will present this to you. And if you would like to stand for the, anywhere you want to be. Up here? Absolutely.
Scoot in, Mary, so they can get you in the background.
Well, I'd give you an opportunity to tell us about some of the events that we're going to be having to celebrate. Sure. Because I know you know all of them, and there's a long list, I know.
Thank you for the opportunity to share more about Arts Across Hartford, and thank you to the Board of Commissioners for recognizing this countywide initiative to celebrate the arts. Arts Across Hartford is September 13th through the 30th, as Mayor Edding said. It's 18 days of just about 50 arts-related events across the county. It is a opportunity to showcase the community's creative side, to celebrate our local artists, whether it's through theater or concerts or living history performances, art exhibits. There are all kinds of things going on. across the county. So we're excited to celebrate the arts, and thank you very much for recognizing the initiative. We do have, during that time period in the town of Bel Air, we have the Maryland Center for the Arts Plein Air Festival happening the first weekend, which is the 13th through the 15th, with their opening reception for Arts Across Hartford at the Bel Air Armory on the 13th. In the evening. The 15th will also be the Bel Air Festival for the Arts. The 17th, which is a Tuesday night at the Armory, there's a living history performance of Georgia O'Keeffe that's being sponsored by the Bel Air Cultural Arts Commission. And as mentioned before, there are many, many other events going on throughout the 18 days. So we look forward to celebrating with the whole community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think many of those things may be recited in our public events when we have that, so we'll hear about them again. Next, under new business, we have Resolution 1238-24, Board of Ethics 2023 Annual Report. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that resolution number 1238-24, the Bel Air Board of Ethics 2023 Annual Report, be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
And do I have a second? Thank you, Commissioner. And presenting will be Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Basically, in summary, the Maryland Code, General Provisions, Section 5807, mandates that each municipal corporation establish provisions to regulate public ethics of local officials concerning conflicts of interest, financial disclosure, and lobbying. And as everybody knows, we do have a code of ethics, and we certify it annually with the Maryland State Ethics Commission. Furthermore, and additionally, the local ethics commission is required to submit a report to the local governing body, which is you, the Board of Town Commissioners, that details the administration of the public ethics laws, number of meetings held during the past year, copies of agendas, minutes, attendance records, and any other relevant documents or information demonstrating the Commission's activities over the previous year. So in your handouts, you will see that you do have a 20-page ethics report, which is mainly made up of the agendas and the minutes. And the Board of Ethics met twice, once on September 13th and once on December 2023. So we did meet the requirement of meeting at least once annually. They met twice. And then some relevant work that the board completed was the local government's ethics law annual certification was completed in 2023 in September. The Board of Ethics Rules of Procedures was passed and adopted in December. The Board of Ethics Conflict of Interest Form, Complaint Form, and Request for Advisory Opinion Form were adopted by the board also in December. And the board created a webpage in 2023 as well in the Town of Bel Air website that provides all the board's forms, rules, and general information regarding its responsibilities. So with that, the town staff recommends that you accept the board's report.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Is there any discussion amongst the board?
No, I'm glad they formalized some of those forms for how to do some of the processes that they were allowed, citizens or anybody else was allowed to raise before the board. So that's a real good thing for them to have those in there.
I think that is a great thing.
Yeah.
I looked at those forms, it'd be helpful. My comment on our resolution is that it's similar to the numbers that we get from the Board of Ed, or from Hartford County regarding the schools, and similar to the one that the report that we get from the Planning Commission, is that we don't get to change this report, we don't get to, really do anything with it. And there's no requirement in either state law or our code that we approve it, review it. It just has to be filed with the board. Because of that, I'm going to move to amend the resolution as drafted to, first of all, as a minor technical thing, change code general provisions where it begins with a small letter to a capital letter. To, in the title, a resolution accepting, change accepting to receiving. In the fifth whereas clause, strike for review and acceptance, in number 1, under now therefore be it resolved, strike and accepted, and strike number 2 that reads, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges that the Bel Air Board of Ethics has met the requirements set forth in Maryland Code General Provision 5-807, including holding the necessary meetings and submitting the required documentation. Do I have a second?
I think I understood. All yes, I'll second, Madam Chair.
Okay, and we can have some discussion now that it has been seconded. It's really a recognition in our resolution that we don't approve this report, we don't have any input in this report. They're required by state law to provide us with a copy, and that is all. They have to provide to the state just the certification that we're in compliance with state law. Would I be correct on that?
Yes,
Ms.
that's
Thompson.
correct. The only thing I would add is that the statute that requires the Board of Ethics to submit the report to the governing legislative body, which is the Board of Town Commissioners, also requires that they submit to you minutes, sign-in sheet, and a list of activities, which is kind of where we were going with. So that it's not necessarily approving those documents. Those documents are being supplied to you in order for them to satisfy the requirements of that section of the code. So yes, it is kind of similar to the annual growth report updates. It's not really, they have to give it to you.
Correct.
You're just basically receiving it, that's all.
Correct. My other question is, there's no minutes to the closed session.
There's no minutes to the closed session. That's, there was, I'm pretty sure I saw them, Mike.
That particular closed session, I was under the impression that the minutes were closed, that it was confidential, not to be shared.
Was that the opinion of the unnamed
Yeah,
individual? Yeah, that has to remain closed.
yeah.
Because the individual who sought aid and opinion is not to be disclosed under the ethics statute. So we're trying to protect that individual's privacy.
And I'm totally fine with that. It's just
Okay.
that I noted that there were some minutes, but those were not here, and I wanted to confirm that they should not be in here.
Okay, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And it seems a little weird. I know there was a lot of activity,
Mhm.
but we're only reporting on 2023.
Mhm.
So things kind of rolled over due to timing of
Right.
2024. So a lot of things will show up for the next report.
Correct.
So.
Correct.
just
I
wanted to
did
point
have
that
to
out.
think hard about the dates when I
I
was
did
reading this to
too.
be sure that I understood what time frame we were looking at.
Yeah, I did too, because we had a lot of activity towards the end of the year and was like, wait a minute, did we catch everything?
Okay. So are you okay with the motion, I mean, the resolution as amended, that we are receiving it? We
Yeah.
got the report? Okay.
Absolutely, it's fine.
Okay.
My question is why strike section 2 that the board acknowledges, so on.
I am not sure that we should be saying that we said they meet all the provisions of 5-807.
That, technically, the state of Maryland is the one that makes that determination, not the Board of Town Commissioners.
That was my thinking, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Any further discussion or questions? I'm glad that Ms. Thompson's here with us tonight to help out on that. All right, in that case, I think we're ready for a vote. And this is a vote
On the
on
amendment.
on
It
the amendment.
amended, yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the vote on Resolution 123824 as amended.
No, this
It's
is
a
the
vote
vote
on the amendment.
On the amendment,
Correct.
Yes.
excuse me, on the amendment for Resolution 123824. So Commissioner Chismar,
Aye?
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance, and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Stands amended.
All right, and now we will call for the vote. Is there any other comments? And is there any member of the public here that wants to make a comment on this piece of legislation? Anything further from the board? Okay, in that case, Mr. Krantz, we are now ready to vote on the amended Resolution 1238-24.
Thank you. For Resolution 123824, as just amended, Commissioner Chismar, how do you vote?
Aye?
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye,
Resolution 123824 is approved. Thank you.
thank you. Next is the firearms purchase for the Bel Air Police Department. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the quote for the purchase of the Glock 45 MOS pistols with accompanying accessory packages in the amount of $50,748.42 from Atlantic Tactical be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Chief?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. Chuck Moore from the Bel Air Police Department, Chief. The ability for a Bel Air Police Department officer to effectively protect the lives of civilians, as well as other officers and themselves, is of paramount importance. The aforementioned Glock pistol is the proven and reliable service pistol which will unquestionably accomplish that goal. This model pistol is used by hundreds of law enforcement agencies across the country and in Harford County. Bel Air PD's current service pistol, the .40 caliber SIG Arms Model P229, are aged and in need of replacement. BAPD officers transitioned to the current agency pistol in 2010, which has served our agency well. The industry standard for law enforcement officers' pistols is a 10-year service life. Firearm industry lifespan is based on the number of training rounds fired by officers, the daily wear and tear from an officer carrying the weapon every day, and the practical life of the equipped night sights. The accompanying equipment for the new firearms includes weapon-mounted streamlight flashlights, Delta Point red dot sighting systems, and new holsters. The flashlight and the red dot sighting system will greatly improve an officer's ability to perceive and focus on threats and the surrounding environment, rather than focusing on the traditional and standard iron sights. The purchase of 40 Glock Model 45 MOS pistols with accompanying mounted flashlights, red dot sighting systems, replacement backup sights, holsters, and magazines will be made from the Atlantic Tactical Company from Raleigh, North Carolina. Atlantic Tactical is the recipient of State of Maryland Contract 001B4600364, which is the contract for the government bid of law enforcement firearms and accompanying accessory packages being used in piggybacking on this purchase. The bid expires on June 20th, 2025. There are sufficient funds in the FY25 budget, $62,000, to pay for the purchase of the firearm transition, and the current agency pistols will be legally offered for sale to current and retired officers, or will be sold or exchanged or transferred to a firearm manufacturer in accordance with Maryland Public Safety Article Code subsection 3-501. The staff recommends that the Board of Town Commissioners approve the quote from Atlantic Tactical in the amount of $50,748.42 for the Glock Model 45 MOS pistols with the accompanying accessories package, and the Bel Air Police Department thanks the Board for supporting us on this very important purchase.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any questions from the board for the chief?
We discussed it.
All right.
And just to make clear for the public too, this will make you all this will make you compatible with the rest of Harford County.
Yes, sir, it will.
And the state.
Yes, correct.
Police forces for,
Yes.
you can exchange clips, ammunition, whatever, in case there's
So
a
if something were to
situation where
happen and they had to
everybody's-
transition to
Right.
somebody else's firearm, they could use their firearms.
Because right now we are not compatible with.
Correct.
Correct.
Thank
And
you.
they also are about 4 years out of the industry standard for the life of a
Yes,
service
ma'am, they
weapon.
are.
Right.
Yeah.
Any member of the public here that wishes to comment? No? In that case, Mr. Krantz, I think we're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the vote on the purchase of the Glock Model 45 MOS pistols and equipment, Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The purchase is approved.
Okay. Next is the contract for the Plumtree Park improvements. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I recommend that the motion, that the contracted price of the game time care of Cunningham Recreation in the amount of $59,542.65 to install new swings and engineered wood fiber play surfacing in the existing playground at Plumtree Park be approved by the Board of Bel Air Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Mr. Small.
Thank you. Recently, the existing swings at Plumtree Park had to be removed due to age and wear. Replacement swings have been selected which meet the current safety code requirements and placed in the same location. I think you have a little map of where they're going. As part of this work, engineered wood fiber mulch, basically, except for it's a lot better mulch than you would get from Scarborough. will be placed with 12-inch thickness across the entire playground to renew the need to provide adequate servicing. A grant in the amount of $100,757 was obtained from the Community Parks and Playgrounds program through the Maryland Department of Natural Resources. Town matching funds of $50,000 are provided in the FY25 budget, totaling $157.57. These monies will address the need to provide AED units in Shamrock Park, Homestead Park, and Rockfield Park, and there's actually going to be 2 in Rockfield Park. Paving will be provided for the existing gravel parking lot. It's probably the last one, I think, that the town owns that's still gravel. And also, the basketball court will receive a new coat of asphalt and sports surfacing. The fence along the west side of the park will be repaired and painted, and benches and tables will be added in addition to the playground improvements. Playground improvement proposal will utilize an existing contract for game time products through an Omnia cooperative contract with the City of Charlotte. This contract has been extended by Game Time through the next couple of years. Town staff recommends Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners approve a $59,542.65 contract with Game Time care of Cunningham Recreation for new swings and enhanced engineered wood fiber play surface and associated amenities in Plumtree Park.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Any questions from the board?
Mr. Small, if I remember correctly, when we talked about this at the work session, Plumtree Park already has an AED device, which is why it's not listed here.
Right.
We're just using this contract to get AEDs in the other parks.
Exactly.
Okay.
In fact, that was part of the grant. The one would be put in that park, and since one already is there, we put it in that,
Right.
and they're aware of that.
Right, so we're putting them in Shamrock, Homestead, and 2 in Rockfield. So
Correct.
Have them all covered. Great, thanks.
It'd be great to have them all covered. I see that there's a cash with the order discount of 3%. Is the town eligible for that?
Cash with that.
That's if you pay
Mhm.
100% upfront, which we
Mhm.
typically
Don't
not.
do. Okay.
We do not, unless the vendor requires us to pay upfront, which most of the time may be a 50% deposit, but certainly not 100%.
Okay. And do we know, is Game Time listed assessments and taxation is in good standing?
Yes,
Okay, so that's the entity that we're actually doing business with. All right.
correct. We cut the check to Game Time.
Okay,
Assessment office is actually under Playcore, Wisconsin.
Okay, that I did see.
But they're all interconnected.
it was too complicated for me to figure out in the time that I had available because there are a number of game times, and I did
Mhm.
find the Playcore Wisconsin that was in good standing,
Yep.
so that must be one of their trade names. Or,
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Their W-9 is in Playcore, Wisconsin, but doing business as Game Time.
Okay,
So-
I'm glad you were able to figure that out.
Yeah, well, this wasn't the first time we've purchased anything
know.
from them, so we had already had this
Great.
done.
Great. I
a
knew
while
if
back.
anybody would have the answer, it would be you because you cut the checks.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and my final question is, under installation conditions, under storage, it says that the town is responsible for providing a secure area for all the equipment, and the town will assume responsibility for theft or vandalism.
Whenever they deliver equipment to the
Mhm.
park and they have to store it overnight, which actually has never happened, they
Okay.
always, when they get the equipment, they install it that day. But whenever they do, they would store it at the DPW
Okay.
storage lot.
Okay, great. I wasn't sure how much it would be expensive to lose that to theft or
Yes.
vandalism, and it does happen, even though Chief Moore tries his best to see that it doesn't. And my last question is, what exactly is engineered wood fiber?
Engineered wood fiber is a it's a certified play surface that counts towards handicapped accessibility. It also wears a lot slower than, I think when I
Wood
referred to
chips.
Scarborough.
Yeah.
When you
mulch.
get mulch from Scarborough, it breaks down relatively quick.
Yeah.
Engineered wood fiber does not. And so it's an approved surface. Certainly, we'd love to have the poured rubber, but that's super expensive. So this works just as well.
Terrific. Any other questions from the board? Any member of
No.
the public that wishes to make a comment on this contract? All right, Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the award of contract for Plumtree Park Playground Swings Play Service and associated upgrades. Commissioner Chismar, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Chance?
Aye.
And Chair Eddy?
Aye.
The contract is awarded. Thank you.
All right. Next up is the contract for Homestead Park improvements. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the contracted price from Game Time, care of Cunningham Recreation, in the amount of $104,194.47 to install playground equipment and play surfacing in Homestead Park be approved by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you again.
Once again, Mr. Small.
Previous upgrades to Homestead Park required that the existing playground be relocated to construct off-site parking, which has worked very well. Lots of people use it, almost overuse it in a way. This meant that a new playground would need to be installed in the further into the interior of the park. And as part of the adjustments to the FY24 budget, the play equipment and associated amenities with the playground were purchased. However, the play surface, the edging, and the actual installation, the labor of the equipment was approved for the FY25 budget, and that budget amount is $280,000. A $115,000 grant from the Community Parks and Playgrounds, along with $35,000 match from the town, provided this $150,000 engineering and construction funds that were implemented over the last 12 months. Additional monies for anticipated improvements will utilize the American Rescue Plan Act and funding through the Capital Reserve. The attached quote is for new play surface, and this is the poured rubber play surface, and installation of equipment proposed for the park. In addition, an exhibit that you have in your package shows a representation of what the playground will look like. The playground improvement proposal will utilize an existing contract. I'm going over this again. Game Time Products through an Omnia cooperative contract with the City of Charlotte, South Carolina. This contract's been extended by Game Time through the next couple of years. The town staff recommends Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners approve a $104,194.47 contract with Game Time, care of Cunningham Recreation, for installation of equipment and new play surface for Homestead Park.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Any questions from the board? All right. Any members of the public that wish to make a comment? No? Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is to vote on the award of contract for the Homestead Park Playground Surface and Equipment Installation. Commissioner Chismar?
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Chance?
Aye.
And Chair Edding.
Aye.
The contract is awarded. Thank you.
Next, we have the contract for the Shamrock Pump Station upgrades. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the bid of Conowago Enterprises, did I get that right, Mr. Coyne? Close enough? Conowago, okay. Incorporated, 660 Edge Grove Road, Hanover, Pennsylvania, 17311, to provide all labor, material, equipment, and supervision to make substantial upgrades to the Shamrock Road Sanitary Pump Station in accordance with all contract specifications and plans for an amount not to exceed $1,030,000 be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Stephen Klein, Director of Public Works for the town. The Shamrock Pump Station was originally built in 1970 and was upgraded in 1988. Many of its components are old, outdated, and need upgrading at this time. The station collects the sewage from approximately 190 residential properties and pumps it uphill 230 feet to a 15-inch sanitary sewer line on East Broadway. This station consists of a wet well to collect the sewage and a dry well to house the pumps, valves, and other components. The procurement department posted contract DPW 080924 on the town's website, resulting in 3 bids. Conowago Enterprises submitted the lowest bid. Funding for this project will be drawn from the sewer budget, which is an enterprise fund for the town. The proposed rehabilitation of the sanitary sewer pump station involves removing and replacing the top slab over the wet and dry wells, installing new hatches, ventilation fans, and reinforcing the structure to prevent rainwater infiltration. The dry well floor will be resurfaced and new pump pads will be added. The side walls will be repaired and recoated while all pumps, piping, valves, and other components will be replaced with corrosion-resistant materials. Upgraded electrical systems, including conduit, wiring, and lighting, will be installed along with a new sump pump, dehumidifier, and heater. The corroded ship's ladder will be replaced with an aluminum one, and the existing force main will be televised and relined. New controls and detailed telemetry for alarms will be housed in a stainless steel enclosure above grade in the cabinet, and a bypass manhole and valve will be added for emergency situations. Additionally, a new water line and hydrant will be installed for cleaning purposes. The staff recommends that the bid of Conowago Enterprises to provide all labor, material, equipment, and supervision to make substantial upgrades to the Shamrock Road sanitary sewer pump station in accordance with all contract specifications and plans for an amount not to exceed $1,030,000 be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Other than the budget, I think that might be the biggest number I've heard while sitting over here for us to approve.
It is a big one.
It is a big one, but it's a big project, and it will stand for decades and
Yeah.
stand us in good stead. Any questions from the board?
These, I was just
Go
going to
ahead.
say, these pumps have certainly served us well for a long time. And I'm sure you would agree that now is the right time to make sure that our infrastructure is sound.
Absolutely. It's better to replace these things before they break down because it could really get messy. You understand what I mean? So, yeah, it's a good thing, and I appreciate you guys approving this tonight. And we hope to bring another project similar to this in the near future, in the next year or so, at Gateway Pump Station, which also really should be rehabilitated. And we're working on that design as we speak. Thank you.
So, Mr. Klein, I have a question. How long will this actually take, the construction of it? And will there be any inconvenience to the residents?
There will not be any inconvenience to any
Okay.
citizens, as we will do pump arounds and so forth while we're doing the project.
Okay.
And what they'll do is they will get the sewage and put a block in it and take it out of one manhole right before it gets to the sub pump station, and then take it to another manhole downhill and,
Right.
and put it in there.
Because this mainly services Major's Choice and, or
More up Broadway in that area.
up
above.
Broadway in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
area? Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Ms. Moody, I think you had something to
Yeah, I
say.
just wanted to add, just to be clear, that ARPA money will be funding the project. While it is in the sewer fund, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page, that this is coming from ARPA money.
And we're very happy to have the ARPA money to apply to this large number. And that's one of the reasons the board has approved so many infrastructure projects, because that's one-time only money. It's best to use it on one-time only projects. And this is the time that we've got that money to do these expensive things that are not anything you can really put off once they have to be done. So they will be messy and expensive and very, very unpleasant for the residents of our town. And since I live on Shamrock, I'm glad to see that the pumping station will be working for years and there'll be no inconvenience. All right, any further questions? No? Any comments from any members of the public? All right, Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote on the award of contract for the Shamrock Road sanitary sewer pump station upgrade. Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Contract is awarded. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is purchase of two 2025 Ford F-350 pickup trucks. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, that the bid for the Apple Ford 8800 Stafford Boulevard, Columbia, Maryland, as approved to and accepted by the Baltimore County, Maryland, for two 2025 Ford F-350 pickup trucks, along with other selected options in the amount of $124,400, be also accepted by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. And Mr. Klein again?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Stephen Klein, Director of Public Works. The Department of Public Works has determined the need to replace vehicles number 6 and 9, both 2011 Ford F-350 four-wheel drive pickup trucks. Vehicle number 6 has 71,500 miles, and vehicle number 9 has 66,000 miles. Due to significant rust damage from salt exposure, these trucks are becoming increasingly unreliable for daily operations. Both vehicles are scheduled for replacement in this budget cycle as outlined in the Public Works Vehicle Replacement Schedule. The town has the opportunity to piggyback on the Baltimore County blanket purchase order for the acquisition. A total of $140,000 was allocated in the FY 2025 streets budget specifically for the purchase of these two vehicles, which was a savings of about $15,600 from what we got the price for. Both pickup trucks are essential to the street section of Public Works for daily street and sidewalk maintenance. They will also be outfitted with 8-foot Boss snowplows and other necessary accessories for winter storm operations. These two vehicles are invaluable in our townhouse streets and those streets with cul-de-sacs as they're smaller and they can make the turns necessary in tight coordinates. The staff recommends that the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners accept the proposal of Apple Ford as provided to and accepted by Baltimore County, Maryland for the two 2025 Ford F-350 pickup trucks along with all the other selected options in the amount of $124,400.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Any
Thank you.
questions from the board?
Mr. Klein, could you talk a little bit about the process of piggybacking on the Baltimore County blanket purchase?
Absolutely. One of the procurement availabilities that we have in our procurement policy is that we are able to go out to other jurisdictions in Maryland most times and find if they purchased equipment that were similar to what we're looking for. In this case, we found that Baltimore County definitely put out a bid for basically the same exact truck that we wanted to purchase. So they probably bought maybe 50 of these trucks and were able to get a much better price that we would be able to get for just 2. So then we are able to piggyback, which says, okay, will you, the car dealer, sell us the same truck at the same price that you bid for Baltimore County? And Baltimore County said, that's fine, we'll allow that, and so did Apple Ford, so we got a great deal. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jay.
Hmm?
Any other questions? I think all the people in the townhouse and developments and the little courts around here would be in favor of this because it certainly allows you to plow much more efficiently, and I know they go right behind the plow and do the courts off the main road, so
Yeah.
people get pretty quick snowplow service around here.
Mr. Commissioner James Rutledge would probably benefit the most out of one of these new vehicles in the tight confines of his community.
That is a very tight
That is
street.
true.
Very
It
tight.
sure is.
Yeah. All right. Any members of the public that would wish to comment on this item? No. All right, Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the purchase of the 2 pickup trucks, Commissioner Chismar, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Chance?
Aye.
And Chair Edding.
Aye.
The purchase is approved. Thank you.
Next is the reappointment to the Economic and Community Development Commission. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the reappointment of Tucker McNulty to the Bel Air Economic and Community Development Commission for a term of 3 years, effective immediately, be approved by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Any discussion or comments?
None other than to say that Tucker is a continually, valued asset for ECDC. His comments are always insightful. He has decades of experience working both in Harford County and town of Bel Air economic development, in and around the town. And I, on a personal note, find his presence very valuable and very worthwhile in the conversations that we have in ECDC. He always brings something new to the table. And I look forward to serving alongside him for another 3 years in that capacity.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. I also worked with Tucker McNulty in the county when I worked there, so I know him pretty well, and I'm very happy that he has agreed to continue to serve, and it's a great addition to ECDC.
Great.
Anybody else? All right. Any members of the public wish to comment on this appointment? Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the reappointment of Tucker McNulty to the Economic and Community Development Commission, Commissioner Chismar, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Chance?
Aye.
And Chair Edding.
Aye.
Mr. McNulty is reappointed.
All right, public announcements. On Sunday, September the 8th, the Hayes House Museum will host the first set of programs in the Revolutionary Hartford series, meant to educate the community about what life was like in Hartford County as the American Revolution began. The setting for Sunday's program, which runs from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., is September of 1774, months before the shot heard round the world was fired during the battles of Lexington, Concord, and Massachusetts. Visitors will be able to hear discussions about the conditions that led to the Revolution, such as protests and boycotts in response to British taxes on American colonists, and they can see and hear militia members dry fire muskets as they train at the Hayes House grounds. The Hayes House at 324 Kenmore Avenue near Bel Air High School is owned by the Historical Society of Hartford County and operated as a small house museum. The Bel Air Downtown Alliance is hosting the Bel Air Market, its seasonal open-air market with antiques and crafts, on Sunday, September the 8th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the parking lot next to Das Beer Hall. Arts Across Hartford, a celebration of the arts throughout Hartford County, kicks off September 13th and runs through September 30th. Related events happening here in Bel Air include the Hartford Plein Air exhibit and sales gallery hosted by the Maryland Center for the Arts from Friday, September 13th to Sunday, September 15th at the Bel Air Armory. In addition to the Plein Air Festival, the 57th Annual Bel Air Festival for the Arts takes place Sunday, September 15th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Shamrock Park. The festival is hosted by the Bel Air Recreation Committee. The first session of fall dance lessons at the Armory begins Monday, September 16th and runs through October 21st. This session costs $80 per person, and you can choose either Intro to American Tango or Beginner Triple Time East Coast Swing. Visit belairarmory.org to register and purchase tickets. A living history performance in which Colleen Webster portrays American painter Georgia O'Keeffe takes place Tuesday, September 17th, starting at 6:30 p.m. in the Armory. Admission is free, but you must register online at Eventbrite. This event is hosted by the Bel Air Cultural Arts Commission. Yes, it's still officially summer, but it's not too early to be thinking about Bel Air's Christmas Parade. The 34th Annual Christmas Parade and Tree Lighting Ceremony are scheduled for Sunday, December the 8th, starting at 3:30 p.m. on Main Street. If you're interested in participating in the parade, visit the Christmas Parade page on our website, belairmd.org, and click the link for an application. Anyone interested in sponsoring these great community events is encouraged to contact the Bel Air Downtown Alliance. The Appearance and Beautification Committee will meet Monday, September the 9th at 7 p.m. in Bel Air Town Hall. The Board of Town Commissioners will hold a work session at 5:15 p.m. Tuesday, September 10th here at Town Hall, and the next Town Board meeting will be Monday, September 16th at 7 p.m. in Town Hall. The Tree Committee will meet at 4:30 p.m. Wednesday, September the 11th at the Bel Air Planning Department at 705 East Churchville Road. And the Economic and Community Development Commission will meet Thursday, September the 12th at 5 p.m. in the Armory. So I think we're starting our busy fall and winter season.
I think so.
Any other events that anyone's aware of that we missed? No? All right. Public comments. Any member of the public here who wishes to make a comment on any topic, not necessarily something that was on the agenda this evening? No public comments. Commissioners' comments.
I would just like to provide hearty congratulations both to Chief Moore and to the entire department on a very well represented BAPD at National Night Out. Our men and women showed up and showed out, and Bel Air was very well represented. And I'm sure that you had lots of kids coming by to check out the vehicles and
All the toys.
all the
Sir.
toys. That's
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a better word. So congratulations,
Thank you,
Chief,
sir.
on your leadership, as well as the best mark of a good leader is a good crew, and we certainly have that in BAPD. So very well done.
And it was great seeing you all there. Thank you for coming.
Any other comments?
No, I don't think I've ever spent so much money in my life. Tonight, it was like almost $2 million.
They
When it
were,
comes
they
down
were
to
big
it.
numbers.
I know. Right. That's right.
All right. Well, I wanted to second what Commissioner Taylor said. It was a great national night out. I really enjoyed it. There were
Yeah.
so many people there, so much really cool equipment, ambulances, fire trucks, police equipment, helicopters, motorcycles. It was a great time. And I know a lot of stickers were given out to some young kids.
Yes, very well attended despite being postponed, so we were
I
we were
know.
happy with
It
it.
was.
I know, I was a little worried that maybe you wouldn't have
Right.
the same crowd because it got postponed, and then it came up again so quickly, but you had a
Yep.
great turnout, so
Yes, yes,
it was a really
was.
great event.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm sorry to say that I wasn't in town for that event, but lots of pictures, lots of chat about it, and it goes without saying, whether it's that event or any time during the year, you have a great, great organization.
We'll have another one coming up. We'll see you at that one, right?
Okay, see you
Yep.
then.
All right. We have now reached the end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Second? Do I have a second?
Second?
Second.
All right,
Third.
and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so now it's another Frenchman, Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake.
Let's eat cake.